Soka, welcome to BC TV. It is Good Morning Uganda Extra today, and of course, let's just get into our issues this morning. And joining me in studios is Herbert Sabiti. Herbert Sabiti is an entrepreneur, for what I know, and he's joining me here to talk about quite a number of things, but mainly talking about the young persons of this country. Now remember, we just celebrated the Youth Day last week, and here is where we are today to talk about issues of the youth. Very welcome, Mr. Sabiti.
Thank you so much for hosting me this morning. Yeah.
Good morning.
Good morning, and good morning, Ugandans, Africa. Thank you for tuning in.
What do you do?
Yeah, I'm the managing director of Ridgeline. We do valuation surveying and property management, but I also have an organization called Iconic Projects. We do construction, and also I have Ridgeline College. We train young people, especially in business. In last year in November, I published a book called Young and Flourishing, and from the book we launched a Young and Flourishing Foundation, and that's why I'm here to talk about Young and Flourishing Foundation.
What is now Young and Flourishing? I think let's get to that immediately.
Young and Flourishing is a team of young people who are determined to transform Africa. So we formed what we call Young and Flourishing Network. You know, about 60% of Africa's population is under the age of 25, making Africa the world's youngest population in the world. And also, you know that Uganda has the world's youngest population, I think about 78%, below 30 years, between 15 to 30 years. So a number of government initiatives have been started to tackle challenges of youth unemployment, and these have suffered setbacks, including implementation challenges, limited funding, poor training and capacity, and also without forgetting the rampant corruption in government structures. So we came together and formed Young and Flourishing Foundation, an organization founded in Uganda, and it aims at sparking off an economic change in Africa by mobilizing, training, and positioning young people to excel in their communities. The young men and women will be patriotic, that's number one, and Afro-optimistic agents of transformation at community level, and will create the new Africa with the vision of 2063. Yeah, we have a vision. Our vision is an equipped and empowered generation of young people leading the transformation of Africa. And our mission is transforming Africa through training, inspiring, and equipping young people to create solutions for their socio-economic emancipation.
Okay, so who are you? We came together.
Yes.
And then who are we came together?
Young people out there, we formed what we call Young and Flourishing Network. So we formed an organization called Young and Flourishing Foundation.
Who are we formed?
Okay.
I very much want to understand.
Yes.
Because we came together, we formed this, having looked at this, you've given us the statistics in the world, in Uganda and everywhere, and we came together. So who are we?
I'm the founder of Young and Flourishing Foundation, and together with other directors, we formed what we call Young and Flourishing Network. Now, the youth out there have come together. We encourage them to create what we call mastermind groups. Mastermind groups of 5 people for urban youth, 5 people, and 10 people for rural youth. So these people will come, they come together and we train them. We train them in issues of business, we train them in issues of leadership, we train them in issues of patriotism. We have what we call our ideologies, 3 ideologies or core values. Number 1, we are patriotic. Our members have an undying love and passion for Africa and their countries. If you can, you know that when you go to social media, you find the youth lamenting they are hopeless, they have lost hope, and we come here to give hope to the youth. First of all, to love their country, because we believe that if they love their motherland, when they go into those positions in government, in private, they will not steal, they will not be bribed.
Let me start on one of your ideologies, which is patriotism. What is patriotism to them or to you? And secondly, why don't the youth love their motherland? Why don't they love their countries?
All right, the youth from their background, they think that they are supposed to be fed.
Which I think is true. They're supposed to be fed.
No, actually, giving like my example, when I was in the primary 6, in primary 6, I was in a very rural school in Cavalry, and I used to meet young people going to a municipal school called Chikonjiri Primary School, and I admired them. So I decided, behind my parents' back, to go and ask for vacant in Chikonjiri Primary School. And the headmaster was very impressed, and he gave me a position. And I went to study even without my parents knowing that I shifted to a better school. So we want our youth to take charge of their lives, not saying government to Yambe, not blaming the parents, not blaming everything, even the non-living things. So we want...
But you see, if you want to compare government to a parent has got responsibility over the children. Similarly, government has got responsibility over us as its citizens, as its youth, as its children. That they're supposed to feed us with good information, good education, good health, good everything, good infrastructure and stuff like that. So we can't say we'll run away from government and manage our own affairs. But on the issue of patriotism, because so many people talk about it and say the youth don't love their countries. The question here is why don't they? Because why you're teaching them patriotism is you're telling them, please love your country, love your countries, love your motherland. But why don't they love their motherland?
Yeah, I believe why they don't love their motherland, they thought, especially for those who finished school, they were lied that the only key to success is education.
Who lied to them? Is it the government or their parents?
I think both.
Both the government and their parents.
I think both the government and parents, they lied them that the only key to success is formal education. Yet there are other education that can make them flourish. So we think that after finishing, let's say Makerere or Chambogo or other institutions, they don't see the key. Maybe the padlock was changed or something like that. So for them, they go out there in the morning, they read papers or they write applications, and they wait for jobs, and the jobs are not there. And for me, I believe, and this is what I did, I believe that with or without education, you can flourish. Now, that key to success is through education. Is just a small percentage. Education is just a small percentage, but the key to success is through your determination, is through your brain, because we have many challenges out there in the communities. We have problems out there in the communities, and we believe that the youth can be a solution to those challenges and those problems. However much formal jobs are not there, but work is there. Work is there in community.
Do you discourage the youth now from attaining formal education? Because it's possibly an old key to a new padlock.
Yeah. No, not really. What we believe that then I should take you to ideology number 2 because of that question. Our second ideology is growth. growth, because of your question, but it's number 3, but let me put it on number 2. Growth, our members value continuous learning, growth and development at all levels. So you see, when someone gets a degree, he or she thinks that that is enough. That's enough for him to flourish or to prosper. No, there are many things to do, and you waste time on Facebook, on WhatsApp, and they give you a book like this. I published this book, Young and Flourishing, but someone cannot read it and cannot get those principles. So like in Africans, we believe that we can't read, we just survive. So we at Young and Flourishing, our second core ideology of growth, we want every member to continue learning and growing. So your question of saying, am I discouraging? No, it's actually, it is an eye-opener. Because if I didn't go to Makerere, maybe I wouldn't be here on national television. So it's an eye-opener, but it's not an end. I have to continue reading. I have to continue encouraging people out there. Yeah.
Okay, so from your understanding, you talk about young and flourishing or youth and flourishing, and all of us, politicians, religious leaders, cultural leaders, civil space, all discuss youth problems.
Yeah.
Now, it is the same across the world. You've given us statistics. When you go to Africa, Africa is all the same. There was an election in Zambia, and it was declared yesterday. But of course, the talk that was coming from Zambia was, it is the youth who are going to determine, it should be the youth and all the things. Now, the president there, who won the election, a 61% majority, had about 2 million votes, 2.7 million votes, now the president-elect of that country of Zambia. But everywhere you go, they'll talk to you about the youth, the youth, the youth. Now, when you come back to Uganda, we have the Constitution of 1995. In our Constitution of 1995, the youth age is 18 and 30. Now, when you look at us, at the age of 18, we are not yet working. At the age of 19 or 20, we are not yet working. At the age of 21, we are just graduating from university. 21, maybe 23. There are those who move, and who are privileged actually, to move from university after their first bachelor's, then they go and also do a master's. Now, when we talk about the age now that is consenting for marriage, the age that is now getting to adulthood, we start at about maybe 24 or 25 to go on, and you see, and after 30, government considers you an adult. They expect you to now run a family, do all the things and stuff like that. But we keep talking about this very big statistic. Now, coming back to all this, I want to understand from you, who deals with the young persons and with the youth, what is our biggest problem as young persons in Uganda, in Africa, and maybe the world, that needs to be addressed? Because everybody will talk about youth unemployment, but we'll ask them then, how do we get jobs? Everybody will talk about maybe now the ideology, a bit of it, government yetu yambe. How should government yetu yambe? Because government, I think, has tried to okuyamba, but who is it helping? What is this problem, and what do we think needs to be done? Because all of us can start youth affairs, youth anything, youth projects, and just possibly to maybe benefit from them or do anything, but not to solve the youth problem.
Yeah, true. Now, the problem is, for example, when you go to a conference, and there comes in a motivational speaker, he tells you that everything is possible, and you come out as
to motivate you.
You come out like you can carry an elephant or a car.
But because you're motivated.
But when you reach there,
things are different.
Things are different. But here we are saying that no, a determined young people, the network of young people, through what we call mastermind groups. You know, mastermind groups are formed for a particular purpose, like for reading this book and it ends. For us, it's permanent. It's permanent. That's what we are doing differently. So the problem is that people get information and they don't continue to follow it up. Now, for us, when you join our Young and Flourishing Network, we put you in a mastermind group of 5 people. In 5 people, you elect a leader, and there are rules and regulations, and you sign a pledge form. So from there, we have, you start with our book, this Young and Flourishing book, and from the Young and Flourishing book, we made what we call a workbook. A workbook.
It's the abridged version of this?
Yes, yes. Okay. In this workbook, there are projects to do. Our network, our Young and Flourishing network, is premised on 4 pillars, which I wrote in this book. One is about money, because it's all about money. And when someone comes to you and tells you that money is, for me, it's not about money, he or she is lying, because the Bible says that money answers everything. So we teach young, in the mastermind groups, we teach young people the time-tested principles for financial management. That's pillar number 1. Pillar number 2, strategic. We teach young people to have a vision, to draw their personal strategic plans, to know where they are going. Otherwise, if they don't know where they are going, they wake up every day, they go on Facebook, they go and play pool. But we want people in those mastermind groups to wake up knowing that I'm going to be a change maker in my community. And I will give you an example. When I was staying in Nansana, because my passion is to encourage, inspire youth. When I was staying in Nansana, there is an area called Dishpurok, where many youth would go early in the morning to do sports betting. But I would go and encourage them. You guys, do you think these proprietors of sports betting, they are just a charity organization? They have come to give you money or to pick money from you. So every weekend, you pay 1,000. So one of them, one of the youth followed me up and said, but what you are saying is right, but what can I do? So we sat down and we agreed, I agreed with him to start business. He had 30,000 and I added him only 20,000 to start roasting meat. And he started meat roasting. And by the time this COVID of 2020 came, the guy had already started employing a lady to do chips, and he had rented a shop. He had rented a shop, he had rented in front of a bar. Okay. And he had bought a small piece of land in Kabaka's land in Uganda, Nansana. So he was progressing very well. He was flourishing. So we believe that actually these youth, the problem of unemployment, the problem of lack of what to do is just mindset. So we believe that when they join the Young and Flourishing Network, they will be encouraged and they will perform process by process.
Okay, very important. Now, Sabiti, coming back to here, you will agree with me that before these young persons of this country become your responsibility as Young and Flourishing organization, you feel for them, you want to do something with them. They are first and foremost Uganda's youth. They are Uganda's children. They are Uganda's responsibility. Yeah. You notice that the government has had quite a number of initiatives. You highlighted them in your earlier submission. I talked about them, and you also highlighted the challenges. One of them being the underfunding and of course the rampant corruption that we admit and accept. But yet again, when we come back to these projects, for example, I want to know how you help a government to achieve their goal of empowering and solving the employment or the unemployment problem of the youth. For example, we've had the Youth Enterprise Scheme, yes. We have had the Youth Venture Capital Fund in this country. Yeah. We had the Intandikwa Scheme. We have had, I think, the loan schemes for university students. We have now the Skilling the Girl Child program. We have the Youth Livelihood program at the Ministry of Gender. We have all these initiatives. Now, we've moved on to even Emyoga. Now, Emyoga is not predominantly a youth affair. Emyoga but because we are talking about the youth as the majority, when you look at the clusters of Emyoga, the 18 or 19 clusters of Emyoga, serve for the women entrepreneur groups and maybe the local leaders and the private teachers in as another cluster in Emyoga. But the categories or the targets for Emyoga are border borders, salon operators, food vendors, market vendors, welders, taxi drivers, name them, these car washers and stuff like that. And majority of these are actually the youth that we talk about. How do you help government to get there? Because I don't want to imagine that young and flourishing is these youth are your responsibility, that you should find them, teach them, train them, give them money, let them go on. Now if there is government the other side that is willing to inject 200+ billion shillings into a project, how do you help government to ensure that this money comes to these youth, the fishermen, those in fishing business, in all fish farming, those in all these circles, in all these sectors? How do you come in to aid, to help and see that, yes, the youth problem is actually solved in this country?
First and foremost is that government, the youth think government should fund them. And for us, we want to change that ideology. Okay. We want to train them.
So in other words, you're telling the youth that government is not supposed to just give you money for free?
Yes.
Okay.
We want to to get our own money. There is money out there. Whether government funds us or not, there is money out there. So what matters, the first thing is to train them. To train them to be patriotic, train them to grow, and train them, the third one I didn't mention is excellence, to have that attitude of excellence. Now, if you train them, the time-tested of money principles, if you train them to dare, if you train them to, if you give them mentors, because our other pillar is that we are going to assign each member of the network, we are going to assign them with a mentor who has gone through what the youth are going through. If you assign them mentors, if you train them, then when they get money, whether the government has given them money or they have got money through their hustling out there, they will be able to flourish. So, but if you just come there and you give them money, they think that government is just paying them for their votes and for their loyalty. And that's the mindset which we want to change. Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think yes, but government will not stop doing what they can do to help the youth. But I'm also thinking here, because yes, we can accuse government of its shortcomings in these projects. And I think you and me will feel bad that government has put up 260 billion shillings in, say, Emyoga, or 260 billion plus shillings in, say, the parish model, the parish development model. At the end of the day, I am sure that Sabiti would want to see another young Sabiti in Imbale, or another young Sabiti in Arua, flourishing and doing well. I think you'd feel happy, whether you helped them or not, but for as long as they're not a problem to community, to society, you would love them. With all these challenges, yes, of the underfunding and stuff like that, what needs to be done here to complement a government's small effort in managing the youth problem? Because there is not going to come a time in this country where we'll have fewer youth than the older persons, because we are the parents, and you don't find one child having 10 parents, but you can have one parent having 10 children. So meaning the number of the youth will continue increasing every day elsewhere. It's not just happening now.
Now, when I was growing up, I think for me I was trained when I lost my mother at 9 years, and I didn't know where my father is, so I grew up with my grandparents. They taught me that one never beg for money. That's my grandfather taught me that, never beg for money. You will lose self-esteem. You will not be regarded as a man. So I grew up. You go to the garden in the morning. for a family garden. In the evening, you go to your personal garden, and from that garden you get money. You get money to buy clothes, to buy books. So, however much they would give me school fees, now I would buy for myself clothes. So I believe that the challenge with youth is that they expect to be fed, and I still insist, even if you say yes, government should give them money or what, they have given, the government has given them money.
It's true.
They have given them money, but what they are still complaining, they are still hopeless, and they are going even to the extent that our soil is vomiting them to the modern slavery in Middle East, and it hurts me so much. So we believe that first and foremost, youth should know that in their communities there is money, so long as they are able to work. If they want to work, we believe that they will work. So for us, what we are going to teach them is to give them avenues on where to get money, not to get money from government. If the money for government comes, it comes as a supplementary. But we want to tell people, if for like village youth, you can rear pigs, you can rear chicken, you can do anything, and you prosper, so long as what you focus on grow. Of course, what you focus on grows, you know it. So we want youth to have their own initiatives, and from that they will flourish. And by the way, it's not only the youth, even African governments. We are depending on donor funds, and there are some things these donor funds come with strings attached and terms and conditions. And by the way, mark me this, and those who are seeing me, the people in Young and Flourishing Network, we are saying no to our to donor funding. We want to, in the future, to fund those who are funding us now. So we are determined to that extent. And it's not only in Uganda, this Young and Flourishing, we are focusing in Africa. So we want to change the mindset of every African, that you have to beg money from someone who has money. That person who has money started where you should start from. That money you are begging from someone, you don't know what he went through to get it. You can also go through it, through that, and you get the money. So we have started programs of encouraging. We call like someone who has succeeded in business. We call them, and they teach the youth how they have succeeded. We call them someone who has succeeded in career, what he has, when someone is in top position, what he has gone through. So those are the teachings we are going to teach about those who have already finished universities, but also the school dropouts. There are projects out in the villages that we are starting, Young and Flourishing village model. We are starting for the youth in the village, so that they don't spend time in the trading centers playing pool and matatu and taking marijuana. So we are saying, no, we don't need funding. What we need is training the youth to have that mindset change, that there is challenge in the community, and that challenge, solving it, you can get money. The definition, during the launch of my book, Professor Ezra Sulma reminded us the conventional definition of money. Money is a medium exchange of goods and services. If you have a service offer, or if you have a good offer, you'll get money. So for us, we expect that you are not supposed to get money for free. You are not supposed to get money for free. You are supposed to get money by
because of a service,
by offering, yes,
or a good to sell.
Yes,
very important. Now, you also hint on something which is very critical here, and you call it mindset. when you look at the Third National Development Plan of Uganda, it's got a whole component of mindset change. We also launched what we call the National Initiative on Civic Education, which also has a whole component on a mindset change. When you look at the Parish Development Mode of Uganda, one of the core pillars that form that is actually a pillar called mindset change. Now, it's mindset. Now, we are convinced that it's not only a Ugandan problem, but it's an African problem, I think. The mindset, that's what you're saying. We need to change the mindset of the Ugandans that we do not have to depend on donors. Yes. It happens to us in our churches, it happens to us in our cultural institutions, it happens to us in our political setting, government and all the things, where we think a Hubbard from America or from the Scandinavia is supposed to fund our projects or programs in a way. Exactly. But when we talk about mindset itself, whose mindset are we talking about? Are we only thinking that it's the mindset of a Sabiti who has no job, who went to the university, who qualified from university and doesn't have a job? Is it only Hubbard's problem, or there's also an administrator, Hubbard, whose mindset also needs to be worked on? So when we talk about changing the mindset, whose mindset are we talking about? Are we talking about the mindset of these people who come to church, or we also include the pastor, the clerk, and the sheikh?
We are talking about the mindset of the youth who will join the Young and Flourishing, because not all of them are going to join. So for us, we are focusing on the members who are going to change, who are going to join Young and Flourishing, and they sign up that enough is enough, and they are focused and determined to transform Africa. If I was dodging your question, if I can answer it, the mindset, I think, is for Africans, both the leaders and the parents and the youth. They think that there is something out there that it can be used to help them, and they can get it for free. And we are saying, no, we don't want that for free. And by the way, this village model, this parish model, the parish model, to me, government should invest more in training, and first of all training the youth, but also the problem when I saw like NADS, they would spend workshops in Kampala, and then when you go down, there's nothing that's happening. Go down in the parish, in the cell, in the sub-county, train the youth, and make sure that their minds are determined. Their minds, they have signed up to flourish. If you do so, you will. But if you continue going on national television like here, or you call the leaders, youth leaders in the town, they would just come to sign an allowance for allowances, and there you go, and nothing happens. So you go in the grassroots. That's why we are using what we call, I repeat it, mastermind model. For village people, we are using 10 members, only 10 members. Those 10 members will be accountable to one another. We'll make sure that they wake up knowing that we are going to do this. They wake up knowing that we are going to start this, and they complete. So at the Young and Flourishing Secretariat, our office that protects the Uganda Road, for us, we shall be monitoring and evaluating the programs of those members of Young and Flourishing in the village.
How long have you been here as Young and Flourishing?
As Young and Flourishing, we are a new organization. I told you I published the book in November 2020. We launched it in March 2021.
But how long had you been here before the book?
How long have I been here?
How long has Young and Flourishing been in existence before the launch of the book?
No, it started.
It started with the book.
With a book, yes. It started with a book. But myself, in 2002, when I was in the senior sixth vacation, I started a village group in Chobugombe Kabale district, and
that's where you come from.
Yes, that's where I come from, and it was amazing. We went to churches. We went to churches and told their parents to give us their youth every day in the evening. Would meet at a certain church, and we train them, we coach them in math, in science, in what, those who are in schools. And those who are not in schools, we teach them the skills, hands-on skills. Every evening, on condition that during the day, they have gone to gardens or they have done errands, parents. By the way, parents would come and report to us, that today this person has not helped us at home. So we deny you from attending the sessions. So in the village, we had no single coin. That's why I'm saying it's not about the money. We had no single coin, but we transformed the members of that association in Chobugombe. We transformed the members, and every person who signed for that association in 2002, they are now doctors, they are teachers, they are out there flourishing. So we believe in the same line, this young and flourishing network will prosper without donor funding.
Okay, so it's possible. Where do you see young and flourishing in the next 5 years? Let's look at that, for example. From now, or from when you launched your book, where do you see young and flourishing in the next couple of years? And what effect or impact do you look at young and flourishing having onto the youth of Uganda?
In the next 5 years, we shall be having 1 million. 1 million impact leaders in Uganda. 1 million impact leaders. Please, after 2026, you call me back here and tell me, do you have 1 million people? We shall have them. They are trained, they are excellent in everything they are doing. 1 million. If you are not there, someone who is seeing me, please, in 2026, you call me and ask me, because we are determined to raise that number. 1 million youth who are determined to cause socio-economic revolution in Uganda and in Africa. Now, in 2040, we shall have what we call Africa Youth Development Bank. Also, mark my word.
In 2040.
In 2040, we shall have what we call African Youth Development Bank. We don't want to continue. We don't want to continue begging money from somewhere. We shall have our own money, and we shall have our own bank, African Youth Development Bank, by 2040. We are going in the same line. By 2035, we shall have what we call innovation cities within Africa. We shall build innovation cities in different cities in Africa. Those innovation villages will put, it will be like a model, what the government is supposed to do. For us, we are going to do it. So we are determined. The government, like the government of Uganda, has given us a conducive atmosphere for us to flourish. So what matters is us to flourish. Of course, we cannot do that. The vision is too big for us alone. We shall have like-minded organizations. We shall partner with like-minded organizations and governments. Governments in Africa will come on board, and we partner with them, but not conditionally. We don't want any funding with conditions that will deter from our 3 ideologies: patriotism, excellence, and growth.
So what do you want to do with the youth without money? I'm looking at your partnerships with the relevant governments. What do you want to do with them without funding them?
What do you want to do without funding them?
Yes, what do you want to do with these?
I told you, we in my vacation, we transformed the village without money. We are going to do that also. But members of the Young and Flourishing Network, they are going to contribute a little amount of 50,000 membership fee of 50,000, and because the number is too big, we know that, because for us we are good stewards, we know that every single coin is supposed to be multiplied. That's God's principle. Every single, God gave us a seed that we are supposed to multiply, but when you get the seed and you eat it, you will remain a beggar. So for us, we from the membership fee, and also after those young people, the members have developed their businesses, because we are going to do also business incubation centers. After the members have developed their businesses, then we combine the resources and we shall achieve what we want to achieve.
Okay, finally, we have about 3 minutes to end the program. What is this particular message that you would want to send out to the people that you should remember you always for?
One, I pledge. That's why I was born, I believe, and I pledge that if you are out there and you are a youth and you are hopeless, I'm there to support you. There's nothing like being hopeless. When you are still breathing, when you are still have eyes and legs and what, you can flourish. So I call upon you to join Young and Flourishing Network, and believe me, when you sign up, you will flourish.
Okay. Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Herbert Sabiti. Herbert Sabiti is the CEO of Young and Flourishing. Is that so?
Yeah.
Well, happy to have you here this morning. And of course, we, as UBC, will continue supporting every initiative by exposing to the world here, by letting the people know what you're doing, and see how best you can also help on impacting societies, and especially the youth, who are always the majority. And I just wonder why people keep saying the youth are more. They should be more than anything. The youth should be more. You don't find 10 parents with one child in the house, but you can find one parent with 10 children in the house, which is actually also the natural way of doing and managing our businesses. Well, I want to thank you so much. My name is Jagenda Semakwala Ziksoka on Good Morning Uganda Extra here today. Wishing all the best. We'll talk and return tomorrow. For God and my country, stay blessed. Until tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Uganda, today is a great day to work towards your dreams. Dial *185*7# and select savings to save as low as 500 Ugandan shillings on